What's going on? What's going on? This is James Bush from Let's Have Manversation, where we believe that we are the, yeah, I know. I'm trying to get sponsorships, can't curse today, and I hope it ain't on Sunday when this is premiering. Joining us today, we have Mr. DuPree Pinson. That is DuPree with the P capitalized. Do not do that because he will get upset like Hulk. DuPree, come up to the stage. Welcome to the show, my brother.
Thank you for having me, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Now, DuPree, I need you to tell my audience a little bit about all that you do because you do a lot.
Do a lot. Well, I'm a father. First off, I'm a child of God. That's 1st and foremost. I'm a father of a 7-year-old princess who runs my life. I'm also a sales executive, been in sales for almost over 16 years. I do executive coaching. I do mentoring, very active in my church. Man, health and wellness, I don't know. I do whatever. Wherever I'm needed, that's what I do.
Exactly. And he's a guy that will put you through the ringer when it comes to juicing and fast. Are currently experiencing. So, DuPree, we are talking about manversations today. And what we know about a manversation is that it's not just a simple dialogue, but it could be a simple conversation, but it encompasses so much. It's what men are watching other men do. It is what men are communicating with one another. It is how we are transmitting and translating our different stories to one another so that we can be better individuals. My brother, why are manversations important today?
I believe manversations are extremely important. I mean, think about how the majority of us, raised. Like I'm 45 years old, so that, tells you kind of the generation I came up in. And initially, we're just taught to be hard, right? We're taught not to have emotions. You can't show emotion. If you started to cry and you were around, some of the older men in your family or the people who were raising you, your OGs, they'll tell you man up, and you can't show emotion. And so growing up, I was taught to never show emotion. I was just taught to be hard and be who I am, and I got to be tough. It wasn't until I got older where I started to realize that there were some things that were wrong, but I didn't know how to express it. And that also affected, relationships, friendships, because it's, when you're constantly trying to be hard, sometimes you have to just express how you feel, and instead of making a situation go left. And when I started to really work on my emotional intelligence, and then I started to go to therapy, I started to realize that how me coming up and being taught to be hard was actually a detriment to my life. And having a daughter, you can't be hard with a daughter. Now, if I had a son, maybe I wouldn't have this perspective, but I can't be hard with my daughter. I have to be able to speak to her, understand that she has different emotions and she's going to tap into those emotions. And if I'm not able to speak to her at her level, I could say or do something to her that can harm her for the rest of her life. And so that's something that I didn't want to do. And so throughout therapy and prayer and just, for me, it's the spiritual aspect as well as the therapeutic aspect, learning more about myself and learning how to speak to those conversations. It helped me to realize that there's actually strength in my vulnerability. But you have to think, for the majority of my life, I was taught that vulnerability was a weakness. You never wanted to show someone you were vulnerable. You never wanted to show your weakness. Yeah. And so being able to live in my vulnerability, realizing that made me stronger, it helped me to better live in my truth, which also led to me being able to better express myself. So now those feelings that I hold in, now that I get them out in a healthy way, it doesn't cause for the blow-ups or throwing the grenades.
I like what you were talking about as far as vulnerability as well, because I was taught also, just sitting in the barbershop chair, you never let them see you sweat. When you had the old heads and guys, man, they ragging on you, they talking about you, they messing with you, they jabbing you, whatever have not, physically and literally, but you never let anyone see you sweat. And it's brought up a sense of that we're always at war. We're always on guard. We always got to keep this hard face going, because if not, we can get got, we can become prey for someone else. And then you start to get older and you start to say to yourself, I'm tired of doing all that. Because
when do I get to breathe?
When do I get to Right. I mean, what do you believe has to happen for more of our young brothers to become more vulnerable? And also, too, some of our older brothers as well. What do you think it needs to take place?
I think what it takes is for people like you and myself and others who are in therapy, who are they're comfortable having those type of conversations and going back to the younger generation and telling them it's okay,
Mhm.
because we learn how to be hard from those before us. That's
That's
what
right.
they taught us, right? There is a way, in a sense, to be a man and to be a man's man and not be a punk, or I know you can't cuss on here, but like not be soft
Mhm.
in a way to where you are still a man, but you're able to express yourself. And that's going to come from older people like myself or those older than me who have now realized like maybe we got it wrong, and
Mhm.
speaking to the younger generation and teaching them. Also letting them see our actions. Like people, one thing I learned about being a father is my daughter may not listen to nothing I say, but she can recount everything that I did.
Mhm.
She'll say, "Oh, daddy, you did this and you did that," but I'm like, "I told you to clean your room. I don't remember you saying that. When did you say that?" So what I realize is that she's watching what I do. So if she sees me interact with, whether it's her mother, a family member, or friends, and she hears the conversations that I'm having, and she see the way that I conduct myself, then that's also what young men need to see. Young men need to see men having real conversations instead of just sitting around when they're young talking about how many girls you got or how you gonna make money or how you gonna, XYZ. Like that stuff is all fun and well, but like have a conversation saying, "Hey man, today just wasn't a good day. I was feeling this way. Here's how I feel." You
Mhm.
don't hear that in a lot of men conversations. Like, "Man, I feel like," no, it's like, "No, I'm gonna take his head off, or I'm gonna knock him." It's those things. So it's more or less we have to not only speak to them, but we have to show them what it looks like in action.
It's funny you said that because we don't hear it, but we see it though. We see it when folks man are taking multiple shots, doubles,
Mm-hmm.
back to back. That's the way of them decompressing about the stuff that they feel, but they don't want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they smoking a blunt, or if they popping not one, not two, but three, but four edibles at a time.
Right.
That's the way of them decompressing from things that they
Mm-hmm.
can't say, but the things that they are internalizing. And I think that that's so important because when you were talking, it reminded me of that movie, The Griswolds, where they're going all around trying to find this place. And the fact is that they were going the wrong way, but eventually they got to the destination. And like you were saying, a lot of us as youth, we've gotten a lot of misinformation about what it is
Mm-hmm.
about being a man. And so we're not at the space where we can't, turn around and go the other direction and find it because it's better late than never. But
Right.
if we're prideful, we'll never get to the place where we need to be.
Right. I mean, it's difficult to release your ego because you're taught to have an ego from a very early age. And the thing is that we're taught these things, but no one really teaches us how to help, like in a healthy manner, put it into action. And so we go overboard. Like you have to have this ego. No one is better than me. Everything we do is competitive. And that's sometimes the difficulty why men can't have the manversation, because it's a competitive thing. My life is better than yours. I'm better than you in everything. And so therefore I can't let you know, "Hey, I'm having a difficulty. Hey, I was let go from my job. Hey man, I'm having issues in my marriage. This is my issue." We don't go out seeking that wisdom. We want to deal with everything on our own because we feel like at some point someone's going to be able to knock us out of our space and take over. But when you really think about it, who wants to come take your life?
Mm.
Realistically, who really wants to come take your life, your wife, your kids, your family, your job? Like, who really wants to come take that from you? And
Mm.
if you start to open up and start to have conversations with people, you would actually find, A, you're going to run into someone that might have been through something you've been through and will be able to express to you, "Hey, these are the mistakes that I made in that situation." But kind of how you said with the Griswolds, it took me forever to get to this destination, but I realized this is how you get to that destination. Now you have help. Now you have, wisdom being poured into you to help you in your situation so you don't make those same mistakes. if we just open up and just start to talk, you will be surprised how many people will actually start to talk back. But they're not going to offer up that conversation because no one wants to be vulnerable. So we just sit there with the ice grill looking at each other.
And I mean, he brought up a great point. Brothers, before you go out there and do something stupid, talk to somebody. Before you go out there and cold call and assault someone, talk to somebody. You know, before you go and pick up that piece and do the unthinkable, talk to somebody. DuPree, let my audience know where they can find you at, where they can reach you.
You can reach me on Instagram at Hulk Quotes, HULK Quotes, and then on Facebook at DuPree Pinson.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's usually in some gym attire, walking, running, sweating, lifting 4 or 5 big dumb barbells, whatever they thing you call them, but he's lifting the kind of stuff, man. I can't do it, and I'm not even ashamed to say that. See, that's me being vulnerable right there.
Hey, man, you got to do what's best for you. We two different people.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, look, I do what's best for me. Look, ain't no sweat on my. Stick with me 1 minute right there, Hawk. Stick with me 1 minute right there. Huntsville, LHM, Huntsville, Alabama, December the 1st and 2nd at the Omega Center, 181 Import Circle Northwest. For more information on attending, vending, sponsorships, or panel guests, you can go to the bit.ly below that is running that right now, or you can email us at the word contact at letshavemanversation.com. That's email us at the word contact at letshavemanversation.com. I got to talk to you about this too, Hawk. Also, become a manspirator. You know, what is that? It is 365 days worth of wisdom, affirmation, acknowledgement, and lessons learned that all of us men have taken place in. You can give it to your younger self, you can give it to your current self, or you can give it to your older self as well. Become a manspirator. I'm looking for co-authors. You know, the bit.ly below is running that, or you can email us at the word contact at letshavemanversation.com. That's email us the word contact at letshavemanversation.com. Appreciate you guys once again. Appreciate you, Hawk. Y'all take it easy.
Take care.